It's hard right now when we don't have helmets on, so there's no headset communicator. I have to physically get him to come talk to me to give him the next play call. So I got to get him to stop talking, give him a play call, but you see his experience.
Press Taylor on Mac Jones. It's 93 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now?
Big Dog's been sitting on the porch last couple of days with the mandatory minicamp. They got rooks and youngsters in there as the big dogs just kind of sit back on the side. But we got plenty of minicamp observations to throw at you today. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. Welcome in. We love hanging out with you. And the next couple of hours, it is ours and yours. So we'll talk some Jaguar football, everything else that's going on in the National Football League, because things are kind of grinding to a halt. And we will get into a little bit of a mini offseason before it's training camp time. And I'm looking around. Big Searcy's like, oh, yeah, this is vacation time. Maddie's like, let's just kind of put our feet up. And then Coach Campo's like, let's get going. I'm ready to go. He's the one fired. Aren't you ready, Leon, just to, at this point in your career, you had to kind of decompress after OTAs and minicamp, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, when I was a veteran, it was kind of, I hated it, let me just be honest with you. I didn't like it as much, all right? I wanted to get to, the meat and potatoes of any season is training camp. You get in training camp to get your body acclimated for the season. So, the OTAs and the mini camps, you want to get those kind of things out of the way, but it's necessary because you got young guys, you got free agents, you got to get them acclimated to your offense, all that kind of stuff. But the meat and potatoes, listen, training camp is when you want to get it done, all right? They absolutely want to get it done. And listen, as an offensive lineman, I was watching them practice today, right? Because the defensive lineman, they disgust me. No offense, coach. Because the defensive guys, they come off the ball and they shoot their hands, and they have a tendency to grab your jersey and flip it all up in the air and stuff like that. And the offensive line understands that you can't do anything, and they work in their technique. So a lot of offensive line guys say, man, just wait till we get in some pads.
Coach, you fired up. Matt, you had to tamp him down over there on the sidelines, didn't you?
Every time I'm out there, he's like screaming at him, pass off.
I will say this, though. As a coach, this time is important, too, to kind of decompress when it's done. Yeah. I really look forward that this is our last practice for a while so that we could get out there. As a matter of fact, I think the stupidest thing I've heard is this talk by the union talking about moving OTAs and everything closer to training camp.
I tend to agree with you.
They're making the season longer than it should be anyway, and now they're going to make it longer? It doesn't make sense. So this is a decompression time. I'm still excited when I get on the field, but at the same time, I can see where the coaches even are ready for a little break here. They've been going pretty strong here for the year.
Yeah. How much break do they get, actually?
Sometimes they get a full month. It just depends. Now, the coordinators don't. The coordinators are going to come in ahead of everybody else and start watching tape of the first couple, because now they know the schedule. They know who we open up with and all those kind of things. And they're going to be looking at stuff from a game plan standpoint. And maybe that's a week. I don't know. But we got a month off, basically. That was our time off back in the day.
Coach, I'm thinking, because when you were the Cowboys, except for the first couple of years, y'all were in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, so y'all season didn't end until February. And then once February ends, you're prepping
It was a roll.
Yeah, then now you're on the road. You're prepping for the college all-star games. And then after the all-star games, you got the pro day. Right. After the pro day, you're prepping for the draft and the draft. So you're talking about, winning teams it's much longer. The months become longer and longer, and then the time constraint of you getting off is shorter and shorter.
And just remember, the coaches put in a lot more time at that office than the players do.
That's true.
it is a break, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think it's good for the team to kind of get away. That's why I hope they keep everything the way it is.
Yeah, and you'll see guys stick around that they'll continue to go in there and work out. But,
Yeah,
but you've got to take your mind off of at the very least, you got to, like, look around and enjoy some other things before, because you're about to lock in. Once you get there, 24 weeks, if it goes the way you want it to.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, listen, my time within the facility was probably 6 to 6:30. Okay, the coaching staff is there at 5, and they don't leave till about 10:30.
Yeah,
and then they rotate and do it every day. It's amazing.
It's a heck of a lot of work, that's for sure. All right, so we got some OTA observations, and I feel like between today and tomorrow, Coach is in here for this hour with us. Then we'll have Denny Thompson, the quarterback whisperer, in the 3 o'clock hour. But like today, just kind of start taking a look at the depth chart, because Matt, when you start looking around and you start seeing, I honestly believe the receivers versus the defensive backs is going to be juicy, because you've got a bunch of talented guys that are trying to get over on the other side. And then we've got these 2 lines of scrimmage that look really competitive.
It's been fun as all get out watching the receivers go against the DBs.
Yeah.
Just a lot of fun. They're working. This isn't just some, they're lollygagging through this thing.
No.
They're getting after it out there. And you're seeing, I tell you what, Buster Brown made a great play.
At the goal line.
Great play at the goal line today. Savage made a great play in the back of the end zone today. They're getting after it. Dave and I were talking about it. They're if you watch them, and again, this is just 7-on-7s. There's no pads on. But you can tell these guys know where they're supposed to be, and they know what angles to take. They know, they see plays. Dave and I were talking about this. They see plays developing in front of them. Dave made a great point about Savage that I think everybody needs to listen is he's going to be a huge, huge factor for them at corner. And why is this, Dave? Tell everyone.
Well, first of all, even back in the day, I always felt if you're going to play any zone defense underneath is what a nickel does. And Savage, they're working him at nickel. I haven't even seen him at safety. So I'm assuming. And
you're saying forget about it.
Yeah, he's going to. And again, I don't know right now that he's going to start. I don't know that he's going to beat anybody out. But the thing that I really love about him is that he's got corner skills. Mm-hmm. And as a safety, when you're sitting back there at safety, you're basically playing zone defense all the time unless you're dropping in and playing somebody man-to-man. So you learn how to read patterns. If this guy goes in, that guy goes out.
It's recognition.
Short. Yeah, there's probably something coming in at the second level. That's what you learn. Well, as a nickel, that's the same exact thing. A linebacker has to know, a nickel has to know pattern recognition in order to know where to drop rather than just drop in the air and trying to break on a quarterback throwing a ball 100 miles an hour to where he's throwing it. So I really like what I see from him because I see corner skills to where he can play man-to-man, but he has the safety skills to read patterns and be where he needs to be instinct-wise.
Right, which in the last couple of years, and no offense to Trey Hurd, he played hard, he tried hard. He's clearly got exposed in specific situations, okay?
Yeah.
He was not a man guy. There's no doubt
Correct.
about
Speed
that. Okay?
was not there.
Yes.
Right.
But with Savage, Savage can run.
Yep.
So now you've got a guy that can run, and you've got a guy who understands, recognizes concepts because he's a safety as well.
And meanwhile, Antonio Johnson looks like he's got the big thump back there as the safety that can deliver a hit that will come up and lend run support. We haven't seen, like you said, Savage hasn't been in that position, but Gregory Jr. still has a chance to compete in that nickel spot.
Right.
I do believe Jarian Jones has a chance to compete in that nickel spot. And so I guess more than anything else, it looks like a dozen different guys that are competing for 5 key spots.
Well, I think that's one of the things that shows up more than anything else is that and Doug said it right, exactly at the beginning of OTAs, that this time right here is mental as far as taking things from the meeting room to the field, but it's also finding out who can do what, and moving guys around is really not a true depth chart. It probably is right now. They probably have in their mind athletically who it's going to be, but then you got to go in and play the game. And I love this minicamp. I like the minicamp more than I like the OTAs, and the reason for it is almost everybody that was there is competing not only for a job but to make the ball club. So this was a really, to me, this was the best I've seen as far as guys competing. I'm talking about the skill guys. You know, the D-line, I mean, you know, you can only do so much.
Right.
And, you know, they do a lot of individual work. But you're seeing 7-on-7 and some team stuff where guys are flying around, and that's exciting to me.
And you start looking at the competition, Leon, and you're trying to figure out, like, is it a better football team than we saw a year ago? I do think there's a significant drop-off along the offensive line from first string to second string, but that's really the only one where I'm seeing.
Well, yeah, it's better energy. What coaches talk about, those guys are competing each and every day. I mean, all the veterans are going, you know, the veterans are going, but these young guys understand that they've got to make an impact when they're young against young, inexperienced against inexperienced. These guys are trying to get tape. They're trying to get notice.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I love, listen, the chattering, the talking back and forth, the competitiveness, I mean, the banter. I love all that kind of stuff because everybody on that field is trying to get better, absolutely trying to get better. I love the way they're competing right now.
I mean, it's not just like, you know, you could say that, and I'm sure coaches are saying, boy, I like the way they're competing now. You can tell. Like, these guys are flying around out there. There's no walking around out there right now. You can tell that they're invested in what's going on right now.
Well, they want to win. They want to win the individual battles. When I'm watching the wide receivers and I'm watching the DBs, they want to win the individual battles. And listen, both sides get better. Absolutely, both sides get better. And when the DBs are chirping, the wide receivers are chirping, man, I love that kind of stuff.
Heck, even Mac Jones.
Oh, Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones, you know.
Mac can't stop out there, man. He is constantly
There's a
talking.
great soundbite from Press Taylor that we'll probably play coming up in just a little bit, that he has to tell Mac to shut up just so he can get a play because he's just talking.
But you know what, though? Here's a couple things about Mac Jones. Number one, he looks really good.
Yeah.
He looks really good, okay?
Yeah,
he's
like
throwing the ball really
he's
well.
He's in great shape for a 60-year-old man with a
I also think he's
in great shape.
He's actually being coached by a quarterback coach for only the second time in his NFL career. I mean, last year was Bill O'Brien, but that was his third guy in 3 years, right? Yeah. Prior to that, it was a defensive coordinator and a special teams coach were coaching him. You got to be kidding me, okay? Yeah. So now he looks good out there. So I think he's going to be a value to this team as a backup. Number one, I also think he's going to be a value to this team in the locker room because that attitude, that just playful, just having fun, that's going to help that locker room. I know it is.
Well, you know that the reason why he's playful and the way because the burden of being the first
pressure's off.
The pressure's off of him.
The burden of Matt Patricia coaching him is off his shoulders.
Yeah. I was telling Joe this when we was on the sideline. I was saying, listen, he can make a healthy living as a backup for the next 10 to 12 years. And now listen, granted, you're a competitor and you want to start or whatever, but I'm just saying, right now that pressure, him being the number one pick in New England, he's down here in Jacksonville. He's in his hometown. He's comfortable. He's got the fanfare. I just saw him out there. He was strutting and two-stepping. I was like, what the hell's going on with Mac Jones? He's loving life right now.
Yeah, they can win a game with him, man. The way he's throwing the ball, they can win a game with him.
Sure. If Trevor is to deal with the injuries he dealt with last year, you wouldn't be hitting the panic button. But think of Mac Jones's descent in professional football, not ascent. He went from a 10-win playoff team, putting a 50-burger on the Jaguars.
He went from a special teams guy coaching him to a defensive coordinator coaching him to Bill O'Brien coaching.
He went from a 10-win, 50-point on your Jaguars
I understand all that, but all I'm saying
made it to the playoffs, and then he did get delivered a bad hand, but at the same time, he also got sat down.
He got delivered a ridiculous hand, okay? Yeah. Bad isn't even the correct word to explain that.
Yeah. It was not a good situation. But anyway, I agree with what Leon and I were talking about on the sidelines. He may never start again. He may start several seasons. We have no idea. But this much is true. He can make a hell of a living in the National Football League.
Sure.
Not unlike what we have seen from Gardner Minshew has been a great story. Backup, starter for a bad team, back to backup. Guy gets hurt, steps up, almost takes his team to the playoff, goes and signs $12, $15 million deal. So it can happen. Anything can happen with these guys. He's in a good spot. And he looks like there's a little relief along with a smile, I guess is what we're saying. That more than anything else. The other thing is he had to throw the ball around for like an hour and a half.
I know, he threw 100 passes.
He's the only one out there, man.
Only quarterback.
There are no teams. I was like, why is there not a fourth quarterback here?
Well, they had in the rookie minicamp Brennan Armstrong.
Right.
Virginia by way of NC State.
Yeah.
And they brought him into rookie minicamp, and then he just didn't stick. So they just looked around. They're like, "Hey, Mac,
out, man. I tell you
like
that
Mac,
Load it up.
you're not getting that 5th-year option picked up or anything like that, pal. You want to just
Well,
throw
no,
the ball around
that
all
training
day?"
camp, one of those three is going to get worn out.
Oh yeah, look, I don't think anyone's minimizing getting him here for what was it, a 6th-round pick?
Yeah.
And you pick up the last year of a deal that's affordable, and you have a quality backup that's
It's a great pickup.
yeah.
I think it could end up being really good.
Yeah, but at the same time, that is what he is going to be for the here and now.
Yes.
That's where he's at. All right, you guys let us know camp battles, ones that you're looking forward to the most. 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, because now it's going to be a break time after tomorrow all the way until training camp. And we'll get to a couple of other ones that are outside of Duval, but also storylines with OTAs. Let's say hello to Cameron Wolf, NFL Network, coming up here in just a second. We say thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. They can bring you a great experience when it comes to buying, when it comes to service after the sale, when it comes to just really shopping and feeling good about it. Coach Campo did it a week ago. Bought him a nice ride that had low mileage. Love the deal. You can get the exact same thing done. BeaverChevrolet.com. You can start online. You can find them on Phillips Highway. Beaver Toyota St. Augustine.com. You can log on or check them out in the OG right there on US 1. Cameron Wolf, what does he think of your Jacksonville Jaguars? He of the NFL Network coming up.
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Hear Jacksonville's own Hall of Famers weekday mornings.
You're pretty cocky.
Dan Hicken.
No, just pretty capable.
The Drill.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, you can have it either, but this is a business. You have to bring in new accounts here.
On 1010XL.
Just watch me.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Break free from the old school hassle at All Pro Roofing. They've revolutionized the game. And guess what? No more pressure, hassle, or time meeting with someone face to face for a roof quote. Unlock the power of an instant roof quote right from the comfort of your home. Get the information you need when you need it. Explore your roofing options today. Head over to allproroofingllc.com. Hit that instant roof quote tab for a free instant roof quote. allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Hacker here, and I just got back from a 9-day cruise to the Caribbean. Now, I knew I was going to slip off my Awaken 180 program because, hey, I deserve it. I've lost 65 pounds so far. But guess what? My Awaken 180 coach even suggested it and helped me cheat. She showed me how to take a break for 9 days and not put any of the weight back on. I ate all sorts of foods, from fried green tomatoes to frog legs, but the shocking part, I didn't keep going back up for seconds, thirds, or fourths. My body didn't need it, and I really didn't want it. Did I lose weight on vacation? No, I was on a break. But did I gain 10 pounds? No, sir. I didn't gain a single pound because my metabolism is on fire. My body's just doing its thing. If you want a program that works, want coaches that understand real life, do what we all did and call Awaken 180. They've got your back while keeping your front from popping. 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help with any plumbing or septic issue, just give us a call and relax. We'll send one of our first-round draft picks to get the job done right. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
It's not training camp, but it is the start of a new season. Listen for 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities and minicamp.
Go, here we go.
Brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O. If you want high quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, if mosquitoes ruin your summer fun, it's time to call Kingfish Pest Control. In my own experience, they are the kings of mosquito elimination. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get 50% off your first treatment. Sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get half off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. Reclaim your yard with Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and summer fun. That means it can be anytime, whenever there's warm weather out, to go enjoy the off-roads with a Honda ride. Now, this is a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler.
That's right. Honda's got a great line of two-wheel products, and of course, their side-by-sides and ATVs, which are legendary and a ton of fun to get out with your family and friends.
I tell everybody, you can pretty much load up and go anywhere and find fun with one of those.
Absolutely.
Honda, with their beautiful off-road lineup, two wheels and four wheels. Check them out on the showroom floor, Atlantic near Regency, or online, cyclesofjacksonville.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Let's say hello to Cameron Wolf, part of NFL Network coverage that you see on the daily, all the time, and, of course, social media as well, at Cameron Wolf. Talking some Jaguar ball and the rest of the National Football League. Cameron, welcome in. How you doing?
What's going on? Everything's all right. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing great, and we were just coming out of our first seg, Cameron, just talking about what we think might be a more competitive football team, a deeper football team roster-wise. What do you think of the Jaguars and what you've seen out of the OTAs and mandatory minicamp?
Yeah, I think this will be an interesting year because 2022 was one of exceeded expectations. Last year, I would say they probably underachieved, and so now there's a lot more pressure. Pressure on the coach, pressure on the quarterback. And it's how you respond to things. So I think that the defense in particular is in better position to succeed. I'm a big fan of Ryan Nielsen, aggressive head coach, plays a lot, or the defense coordinator, has a lot of man-to-man coverage. I like the Eric Armstead move as well, getting him as a third guy inside along with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. I think if the defense is as good as it could be, this team should be right neck and neck with the Texans for the division, and maybe make some noise in the playoffs as well.
Now, Cameron, last year I remember going into the season how Trevor Lawrence was perceived. He was perceived as someone who could probably essentially knock the Kansas City Chiefs. So now the perception of is perceived as somewhat average. I mean, what do you, as far as Trevor goes, do you consider Trevor an elite quarterback?
I do. I'm big on Trevor Lawrence. I have been throughout most of his career, but I think you're right on the money. I think that he's a polarizing quarterback. I think, very much the same way for different reasons that Tua Tagovailoa is in Miami. You're going to have people who are very high on Trevor, and there are going to be people who said we haven't seen him do it yet. The fact that he's won a playoff game should give him some love. But a lot of people are, what have you done for me lately? And they will remember how the Jags and Trevor Lawrence had a collapse towards the end of last season. So there certainly is a lot to prove. Trevor's got to take better care of the ball. He was definitely loose with the ball last year quite a bit. But I think that when you see him at his best, when you see him as a gamer, when you see him in the comebacks, there's only a handful of quarterbacks that can make plays the way he does. And so I think you have your elite tier quarterbacks, your Patrick Mahomes, your Joe Burrows, your Josh Allen, your Lamar Jackson. And then after that, I think Trevor Lawrence belongs in the conversation with any other quarterback that's left.
Hey, Cameron, obviously Josh Allen just signed a big deal. A lot of talk about him. I've been saying the last few weeks, I honestly believe that Trayvon Walker might have a better year. I think the sack totals, I don't think Josh is going to have a bad year. I think the sack totals might even just flip. Like you may see Trayvon Walker with 15 or 16 sacks and Josh with 11 and 12 sacks. Am I off there?
Yeah, no, I don't think you're off. I mean, I think Josh is going to have an excellent year. I'm a big Josh Allen fan, but I think Trayvon Walker is an ascending player, and I think people got so caught up in his rookie year because it was such a comparison to Aiden Hutchinson and this guy has this many sacks, that guy has that many sacks. But you didn't realize a lot of the reason the Jaguars drafted Trayvon was because of his endless upside with the size he has, the traits he has, and we saw that last year in the sack numbers. But I think that he's just scratching the ceiling of what he can be as a player. And you add in another guy, like I mentioned, Eric Armstead, that takes attention from an offensive line perspective. He's going to have a lot more one-on-one opportunities, a lot less chips. And so, yeah, I think that you're going to go into the season, whether it's Josh Moore or Trayvon Moore, I think that both of these guys could be pushing 15-plus sacks this year, which would be bringing back some of those Jacksonville thoughts if they get that number.
Cameron, this is Coach Dave Campo. Good to talk with you.
How you doing, Coach?
Good. Let me ask you this. What's your I have a high opinion of Ryan Nielsen as well. What are the things that you've seen or heard that kind of separates him from some other people as a coordinator?
Yeah, Coach, you would appreciate this. He's a teacher. I think there's a difference between guys who are maybe schemers and guys who are teachers. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta last year, and I remember Grady Jarrett raved to me about just how Ryan was teaching him stuff, and Grady's in year 10 that he had never heard before. And so I think Ryan has an ability to just kind of relate to these players in a why element. That, the reality is this generation of players, sometimes they want to hear the why. They need to hear the why or they're going to shut down. I think Ryan Nielsen, his ability to do that, particularly with the defensive lineman, he comes from a defensive line background, and I think a lot of times when you have a coach that comes from a certain position group, that's always going to reign true on your team. I think that he's going to be able to help them on maybe some of the nuances that they struggled with, especially in the second half of last year. Gap control, where you're going to line up in a particular area. I think that, when you watch Atlanta's defense last year, they were disciplined in a lot of different aspects, and they played aggressive. And so those were two areas I think Jags kind of struggled with at times last year. And I think Jacksonville fans are going to be pleased to see his impact on Jacksonville this year.
A couple more for Cameron Wolf. I have to sidebar right now because is that young Layla? Is that the one that she's?
Yeah, that's my daughter. This is the middle of June, and so no school anymore. So I'm running.
How old?
Me and my buddy were running Daddy Dirt daycare here. She's 3 years old.
Oh yes, she knows nothing other than, hey, Dad, let's do something. Oh, that's fun.
She saw me close the office door, and that's signal for come mess with Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, a couple more for Cameron before he goes back to Daddy Daycare and has fun with Layla. The Mitch Morse versus Eric Armstead. I'm just going to put it in a versus kind of situation. Who can be more valuable based on what this team didn't have last year?
Yeah, I think it's Eric Armstead. I have a lot of respect for Mitch Morse. I've covered a lot of Buffalo football. I think his leadership ability will be key, especially for Trevor Lawrence, and the communication factor, being able to identify things on the line of scrimmage, be able to audible. All those things are key with a center. But I think Eric Armstead has been one of the more consistent defensive players when healthy throughout his career. And I think that's something that Jags just have desperately missed. And so I think that, he's going to be a huge, huge guy who's going to force people to have extra attention in that defensive line spot. And I think it's going to open up even more for Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. He's one of those guys where I know he had 1 year, I think maybe 5 years ago, where he had 10 sacks, but his numbers don't often tell the story of what he makes an impact for. He's going to be the guy who does the dirty work, who takes up a lot more attention, who's going to get you the run stops inside. Like that, you need those type guys where they might not get 3 sacks today, but they were the most impactful defender on the field. And I think that's going to be the impact Eric Armstead has. And everybody on that defensive front 7 is going to be happy that he's on the field.
Wow, Cameron, you just let all the air out of my balloon because I was hoping you said Mitch Morris. because last year, this team, I watched this team last year, me being from the old guard, the old school, we carried a mantle of tough as an offensive line. Our toughness was our mantle. And this team, quite frankly, down the stretch in third and short yardage situations, got manhandled. So, I mean, is Mitch Morris enough for this team moving forward as far as the offensive line goes?
I think it's still a question for me. I think that's something that you're honestly not going to be able to tell in the spring. It's always funny. I joke about June time because everybody wants to have a take about the team in June. I don't know, what if the offensive line is going to be better or if they're going to be a tougher team at this stage. We'll learn a lot more about them in training camp. But the reality is Mitch Morris has done this. He's been a proven player. He's helped that Buffalo Bills team get in the right direction. They were, for a while, a pass-heavy team. But if you notice over the last 2 years, James Cook has really elevated his career and how he's run the ball, the frequency, the toughness. And a lot of that is Mitch Morris as the leader of that offensive line. So I think he's going to make an impact. I just don't have a set answer of we can tell if that'll impact the whole offensive line yet, or if it'll just be him and the anchor.
All right, so we'll throw one more at you and then turn you loose. Brian Thomas Jr., everything we've seen, again, this is not with pads on or even helmets for that matter, Cameron, but the speed, the size, he looks like he's a guy that they hopefully replace Calvin Ridley with and he becomes a fledgling star.
Yeah, I talked about Brian Thomas last night on NFL Network. He's going to come in immediately and be given the Calvin Ridley role on that offense. And so it's going to be what he does with that opportunity. Now, he's not that level of player yet. He has to prove it. But I was at LSU's Pro Day when he was coming up, and I was talking to a general manager. He actually compared Brian Thomas to Brandon Ayuk. He said that's his comp for him. He said that he thinks he's a player that, even with the speed and the go ability that everybody falls in love with, the vertical, he thinks that he, within a year or two, is going to be able to develop into a complete receiver. And if you do, then that's going to end up looking like a steal at that 23rd pick. And so I know that he's already had a really strong camp. He gets open. He flies open in the field. They want him to talk more. I think Press Taylor talked about this. I've heard behind the scenes, it's like pulling teeth to get him to talk. But he's a rookie. And so I think some coaches and players will say it's better to be seen than heard. I think they want to hear him a little bit more. But on the field, you can't catch him. He's a 4.33 guy, and with that size, if everything clicks as far as the scheme early for him, I'd imagine he's one of your higher impact rookies in the NFL this season. So yeah. I think they'll be perfectly fine with Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis outside, and Christian Kirk now healthy, and Evan Ingram and the inside.
The classic was Press Taylor said he couldn't get Mac to shut up and he couldn't get Brian to talk. So it's hilarious. All right, listen, we will turn you loose, and you can follow Cameron Wolfe, of course, NFL Network, and as he said, the Insiders, everything going on there, brand new programming at night, and then you can follow him on social at Cameron Wolfe, and you got to love a bro that has Duval in his picture on X, so that way you know that he's talking Duval whenever he can. Listen, man, we appreciate it. So where are we taking young Layla? Where are you guys going to burn off the energy this afternoon?
Oh, man, somewhere. We got to go somewhere, right? I went to a museum earlier yesterday for her to run around, and today she's just running around playing with one of her friends. That's another kid with a dad who has a kid, so I got to figure out something because she's driving me into a nap. She needs to take a nap, but I'm tired just running around chasing her.
All right, well, go have fun. We appreciate your time, and you can definitely check out Cameron Wolf on NFL Network and at Cameron Wolf. Thanks, dude.
All right, appreciate you, fellas. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, and so you look at the back of the X, and he's got Duval colors behind him, so that's good. And when you think of what he said, Coach, as far as Brian Thomas, we should not make any assumptions when you hear either replace Calvin or drawing Brandon Ayuk comparisons. But what you've seen, you like.
Yeah.
Can't help but like what you see.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I see size and speed, and then I hear people say, including Ed Ogeron, who I know knows football players, when you hear him say that he's smart, those three things usually equate to a pretty good player.
Yeah.
And watching him out there, he's really a natural with his hands. So when you put all those things together, you just say, okay, it might take him a little while. He's going to take a couple hits in the NFL that maybe he didn't take on the college level. But when you have those qualities together, I don't care if he says a word, as long as he catches the ball and runs by people and puts it in the end zone.
Exactly. All right, you guys jump in on that 641-1010. Let us know what you're thinking. We need that right now, though, RJ. This is important.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Big news.
This is big.
Big. Out of the competitive
Huge.
eating world. Joey Chestnut has been banned from Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Because, are you ready for this? Allegedly, he has signed a deal with a competitor of Nathan's that offers, if you can believe this, vegan hot dogs.
I don't believe it's such
So Nathan's not putting up with it.
Yeah,
He's just not doing it.
He deserves to go if we go into a vegan hot dog. I can tell you that.
Right.
Name me an ingredient in a vegan hot dog that you would like to drop in a bun. I can't think of one. Okay? A vegan hot dog?
Well, you really don't want to know what makes up a hot dog.
That's true. That's
right.
very
Much
true.
less vegan, right.
Exactly.
But I'll take pig knuckles over a vegan hot dog all day.
Okay.
All right, I'm a member of PETA. Okay? People who eat tasty animals. I'm all about it. But Joey Chestnut has gone dark.
He's out.
He does.
He's out.
He went rogue, bro.
Is anybody going to watch it now?
I don't know. Gone are the days of 72 soaking wet buns and dogs.
Who's the other? What's the Japanese guy? What's his name?
It was Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore either.
No, hadn't been in a while.
Who's the big dude? There's one other guy.
We had one of the big dudes on
What's his name,
before.
Leon?
I don't even
I
think
don't know.
I'm trying to think of his
We were
name.
talking about him last year.
Coney Allen will never be the same.
Yeah, they're gonna be hurting right now. They're not gonna be selling.
Did
as
we
many.
have him on last year, the big dude?
No, it was a couple years ago. As a matter of fact, we had him on because they were doing pandemic competitions.
Right.
So
that's right.
Yeah,
I remember the show, listening to it.
I'm drawing a blank on his name, but
He's
anyway,
enormous.
Yeah, huge.
But even
human
he
being.
couldn't beat Joey Chestnut.
Yeah. So
Or
oh,
Kobayashi.
no
for that
one
matter.
could even come close.
Wow.
It was a race for second. So now maybe Coney Island will play it off of that. That they've eliminated the big bad monster.
It's a little disappointing, actually.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I watch just to see the introductions because that guy is just great over there at Coney Island with the introductions. I didn't really want to watch.
NIL, bro. NIL.
Got it. Oh, all right, we'll keep it rolling. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. We definitely like to see you guys head on in, see the selection, and come away with a great deal. They are there to wow you. And if you're looking at the Toyota side, the Tacomas, the Tundras, beautiful NASCAR Camry that I drive, the 4Runner that TLD drives, and of course on the other side you got Chevy Traverse, Chevy Blazer, Chevy Tahoe. You can't go wrong with any of them. Check them out on both lots. It's XL Primetime. Our head coach Dave Campo hanging out with us. We'll get back to your Jaguars and one other absence at a mandatory minicamp that's definitely drawn a few eyes.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Florida State. Subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles YouTube channel, up-to-the-minute updates, analysis, and more. Plant the spear and subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles channel today. Homeowners and investors, the choice of title company is yours. When making that decision, choose the team of St. John's Title, LLC. As board-certified expert attorney-owned firm with decades of experience, we provide the utmost in precision and professionalism. Conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, we serve your needs. Whether refinancing or selling your property, our customer-first approach is tailor-made to your timeline. With a seasoned team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast, visit stjohnstitle.com.
Prosser here. As you may or may not know by now, I did the research and decided to go with Jack's Concrete Coatings for my garage floor. OMG, as the kids would say. I can't begin to tell you how good it looks, how happy we are. We brag on it anytime someone walks in the garage. They had the job finished in one day with a lifetime warranty. That's right. As the certified Pintech dealer for North Florida, the only company offering pure polyurea, I can't wait to do my patio deck next. Call 862-2000. That's the number, 862-2000, or jacksconcretecoatings.com.
June is Men's Health Month, so I just got a total body MRI scan. It was really simple, quite comfortable, and it only took about an hour. Total body MRI scans for abnormalities that may need attention soon. Be proactive with your health this month. Call Ackerman Cancer Center to learn more about total body MRI.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Imagine a majestic cut of beef that commands attention the moment it arrives at your table. At Southern Steer, now through Father's Day, get your tomahawk steaks for $24.99 a pound.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 11th, Mel Stottlemyre sets an American League record by making his 272 consecutive start without pitching a game in relief.
Are you tired of living with constant pain from torn ligaments or nagging tendinitis and bothersome joint pain? Say goodbye to endless medications and invasive surgeries. Go BioTarget Regenerative Treatment is available only at injury care centers. Their innovative approach helps you recover faster and get back to doing what you love without drugs or surgery. Don't just treat the symptoms, target the root cause with BioTarget. Visit GoBioTarget.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today.
If the Florida heat is getting you down and you're sweating up a storm, fire up a phone call to Florida Home AC and order an AC tune-up. It's the best way to beat the heat and keep your AC unit working at peak performance. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for their tune-up special and make sure you're primed for the peak of that heat. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and just a phone call away at 777-4300. Order that tune-up today.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Are you looking for that perfect Father's Day gift? Look no further than Shooters this Thursday through Sunday, June 13th through the 16th. Shooters and Smith & Wesson are bringing you the largest Smith & Wesson sale of the year with the largest savings of the year. Click away with a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522, very affordable, just $429. Save $70. The most popular small frame defense revolver on the market, the Airweight 38 Special, for only $469. Save $70. The hottest selling concealed carry pistol, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9mm for only $399. You save $150. Get unmatched value with the new Smith & Wesson SD9 2.0 handgun for a low $279. Save $80. Shooters and Smith & Wesson Father's Day sale, the largest sale of the year, June 13th through the 16th at Shooters, 5085 University Boulevard West. See the full ad at shootersjacks.com. ShootersJacks.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
So here's where we are, all right? If we're, 3 weeks away from celebrating our nation's independence, it's the 11th of June. July 4th will be here before you know it. We just had the most unbelievable, disturbing news that there is a hot dog that has been made by vegans. That alone doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever. And then beyond that, Joey Chestnut says he wants to be part of this vegan dog, and Coney Island's kicked him out of the famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. So we start looking around like there's got to be an eating challenge that we might be able to watch, consume. Badlands Booker was the guy we were looking for.
Correct.
And so
then we thought about last year. Last year JJ decided that, all 160 pounds of him decided that he could eat 4 double quarter pounders, 4 French fries, and 20 chicken nuggets and drink 4 Cokes.
Yeah, the 4 Cokes was just...
So we ended up being, he didn't have to drink the 4 Cokes, and he only had it, and it was only quarter pounders. They weren't double quarter pounders. He barely finished half of it. This was for like $100.
Yeah, he gave in. He gave in. Yeah.
So now Leon's throwing something out to RJ. Denny comes in.
Denny's adding money to it. Yep.
Dave Campo's adding money to it. It's up to a stack right now.
Yeah. And
$1,000 for
Leon,
RJ.
how much are you trying to give him? What are you trying to get him to eat?
Well, I initially say fillet of fish, but he doesn't eat fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't eat fish.
You just don't like
He
fillet.
said he doesn't like it.
You don't like fillet of fish. All right, so it was fillet of fish. It was 5 fillet of fish. It was 2 20-piece nuggets, 4 fries, and 4 large Cokes. All right, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That is
and
a
he
lot.
would have 2 hours
But
to
you
do
said
it.
you'd go down to 1 Coke.
Yeah, I go down to one. Go down to 1 Coke, 1 big gold Coke that he would have to.
Cokes are the killer.
Yeah,
Cokes will knock a butt out of a
It
skunk,
would.
all right?
It would.
They are the killer.
It would. So we're downsizing it. So we're asking him, could he do quarter pounders? Quarter pounders with cheese. Got to add cheese for the flavor. Quarter pounder with cheese, 4 of those, 2 nuggets, 4 fries, and 1 big gold Coke. So I put 100 on it, honey on it, and then Coach came in with a honey. And then Matt said the honey,
and then I combined
then
the honey.
Denny
said
came.
the honey, and then Denny says,
and then
you know what? Screw it, a stack.
A stack. And RJ's reply to that was,
hell no.
Y'all can go eat it by yourself.
Are you?
Say it, hell to the no.
You're not gonna.
But you want me to eat it, but you saying hell to the nah, but you want me to eat it.
All we're saying is at least JJ.
Why don't you
tried.
go ahead, Matt, Mr. Awaken 180? Come on, you'll be able to get it off.
Hey, at least JJ tried, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, come on, RJ. We want you to be part of the club, man. Come
Yes,
on.
the club of the land of the living. If you're saying that, yes, I want to be a part of
We
that.
are going to guilt you into this. You know.
Okay, so here's what we got, RJ. Okay, we've got a choice. We've got the World Strawberry Shortcake Eating Championship. that you could be part of. Are you into strawberry shortcake? You
No,
could
that's
go
fine.
there. We could do the
Wait. He just said that's fine.
Oh, you
No,
can go there?
I'm saying that's fine. Like, strawberry shortcake's fine to me. I don't have an issue with that.
But would you get into an eating competition? Because I'll give you how much you got to eat. You
with
got
who?
The National Donut Day World Donut Eating Championship. Are you in there?
I mean, depends on the donuts.
Okay.
He's
all
a fat
right.
kid at heart.
But I'm not eating like 50 donuts for,
Here
in
he said
2
that.
hours.
Clay goes, it depends on the donut. You tell me what donut you like, bro, and we're on it.
Glazed. How many glazed donuts could you eat?
2.
Oh, come on,
In
man.
2 hours?
Come on.
In 2 hours.
You're wasting our
Well,
time.
for
in
1
here.
hour, I'll watch Netflix.
You gonna
let that
cut it
burn
with
off,
a knife
I'll
and
eat the
a
other one.
fork? I said 2. You gonna cut it with a knife and a fork?
That's what I'm going to do.
You got to be kidding.
RJ, we have seen you come into the break room and sit down with a big bag of food.
You's a lie. Will you stop it?
I've seen you with 2
All right,
plates.
how about this one?
Two plates of what, Leon?
Wherever there was in the tray, you had 2 plates of it.
I did not. You stop
All right,
that,
what about
man.
bologna? Where are you at with bologna? There's a bologna showdown that's coming up in July.
I bet you that bologna will still be there.
It's a $10,000 total purse.
Ooh.
Yeah, but he's not going against anybody with this thing. Denny's literally offered him a stack, and he's just basically
Denny
betting
said
against himself.
5,000.
Oh my God.
That's what he said.
Not to you. He said 1,000.
That's the problem. That's the entire problem I have.
So what you're
Why
saying
does
then if he
Denny
goes
get
up
$5,000 and I only get 1?
So if he goes up to 5 stacks, you'll do it.
If he goes up to 5 stacks, me and Denny will probably have a private conversation in the back.
Oh.
All right, RJ.
All right, RJ.
Unbelievable. I thought
Killjoy.
Yeah.
Why do you guys get to continue living and then y'all gonna talk about how great of a producer
Hey,
I was in my funeral?
JJ's still
when
living.
you
He's
go
still
down,
160
when you're
pounds,
gone.
too. He did it last
Listen,
year.
I'll bring flowers.
We will
That
remember
see
you
that?
fondly. We will remember.
Do you not remember the rib eating contest that we all did last year and all of us were sick, but we all had fun? Don't you want to have fun with your friends, RJ?
Are you guys doing it? That was the question I had.
I did the rib eating.
I did the rib eating.
I did the rib eating.
we
We
all
all
did,
did.
yeah.
Are y'all doing the fish fillets and
Danny's
the
not offering us stacks. He's offering you one.
That's the problem. Unless if we gonna die, let's all die together. That's what I'm saying.
Why are you so morbid?
Hey,
God, why we
RJ, I'm with you. I'm not doing any of it.
There you go. Now y'all get on Coach like y'all got on me.
Nope. Not doing it.
That's what I thought. Sound real quiet. Can I buy a vowel?
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, let's get Coach out before we say hello to Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer. So, Coach, without eating any hot dogs, because you
Right.
are on a little bit of a diet right now.
Right.
We're going to go on a football diet because we're not going to really see anything after tomorrow, and then we get ready for training camp. I wanted to ask this question earlier. Aaron Rodgers was a no-show at mandatory minicamp without talking to head coach Robert Saleh. Is he once again playing the part of a diva?
Well,
Is he deciding once again he can do what other people aren't allowed to do?
Yeah, he's a prima. There's no question about it. And they knew what they were getting when they brought him in.
That's true.
You know, they're looking for a Super Bowl, and they think he can do it. And I think they're going to give him all the leeway in the world. The guy's been in the league for a long time. He's, he kind of runs. Hey, listen, anybody goes in a dark room for whatever long he did is running to his own, stream. You know what I mean? So,
He's still
hey,
one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. Like, if he wants to, whatever he wants to do, okay, great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he runs his own race.
So there were 2 guys that weren't present first day of mandatory minicamp. Hassan Reddick was one of them. He was given permission. He had an excused absence from Robert Saleh. Rodgers did not show up, opted instead to attend an event that he said is, quote, very important to him. Look, I don't have much of a problem, Leon, whenever they decide that they're not going to show up. But Aaron Rodgers just raised it to a new level. People just want to talk
He can strut.
about
I mean,
him
he's earned the right to strut a little bit. He's been in the league, 20-some-odd years? Listen, I was watching the interview they was talking about. It was Coach Johnson with the Dallas Cowboys, and he was talking about a guy, how Jimmy Johnson, gives some people he plays favorites, all right?
The ladder.
Yeah, the ladder. The prong on the ladder. And he said that one of the guys right before the playoffs, I think it was a linebacker, he fell asleep in the meeting room. So Jimmy Johnson came over to him and said, hey, listen, he gave him his office, say, listen, we're working you too hard, so we're going to send you home for good so you can get some rest and sleep. And then one of the reporters said, what would happen if Troy Aikman, fell asleep in the meeting room. Jimmy Johnson said, I would have walked over to Troy and said, hey, Troy, wake up. So, bro, hey, listen.
He'd give him a mattress.
Yeah, exactly. So,
We're
I
not
mean,
kicking you to the curb.
some guys are high on the prong and some low on the prong. So, Aaron Rodgers, he's high on the prong.
Plus, the fine doesn't bother him at all. So, whatever.
No, but it's so funny because he came in all glad-handing, all stoked last year.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he wasn't showing up to any of the OTAs or mini camps in Green Bay.
Right.
Goes in there, and all of a sudden, his arm around the teammate kind of feel to it. And then this year, I guess it's not unexpected.
No.
Not unexpected.
No.
All right, Coach, most exciting thing about OTAs and minicamp before you go that you'll be looking forward to once training camp gets here?
Well, the most exciting thing I will say is the way they were flying around. And that includes when they went team with no pads on. I thought the defensive line was working the O-line. The O-line was working. A lot of guys fighting for jobs with this team. And you have a good football team when you got – it goes all the way through to the 53, but when you got more than 53, it's even more exciting because now it's a real battle for that final.
We may actually be going into an off-season or into training camp where there's going to be some tough cuts.
Absolutely.
We'll find out. All right, Coach, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. We
bet.
appreciate it as always. We got Denny Thompson coming in. We just talked about Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. If you add up the number of seasons that they had from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and to now Jordan Love, and just how damn good they got it, whoever that quarterback coach is, making a good living. We'll talk to our quarterback whisperer coming up on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. 1010XL presents Blue Bloods, starring Frank Frangie as the commissioner.
This is a show about his Irish cop family, and I play their dad, Frank.
Frank Frangie, afternoons on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots and the first treatment now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Is your roof ready to weather the storm? Don't take chances with your home safety. Trust the experts at Universal Roof and Contract. Get peace of mind knowing your home is protected from the elements. They'll ensure your roof is in top shape to handle anything Mother Nature throws its way. Right now, get 10% off a re-roof or repairs, plus a free wind mitigation with a full roof replacement. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or click universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC, Zero Res.
A no-risk, all-rewards path to real weight loss. If you're not happy with your Awaken 180 results in the first week, get 100% of your money back. No risk, but every reward. With the solution for weight loss, Awaken180weightloss.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful. safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Men suffering from ED or PE, see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call 904-664-8217, 904-664-8217.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Jaguars pass rusher Josh Allen is coming off a career-best season with 17.5 sacks. Allen spoke on Monday about what he expects from new defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen.
What I know from my experiences, everybody's going to have their own, experiences dealing with him. But for mine, man, it's, he loves ball. He's all about ball, and he wants me to pass rush.
Josh Allen on Monday. The field is set for the College World Series. The Noles play Tennessee Friday night at 7. Meanwhile, the Gators play Texas A&M Saturday night at 7. It's 92 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3. We got our dude in the house, Denny Thompson. Normally we get him on Mondays. Got him today, rolling in after Coach Campo. That's kind of an all-star setting for XL Primetime. We go from our head coach to our quarterback whisperer. Denny, how you doing, dude?
I'm great. I can't be mentioned with Coach Campo. That dude's legend.
Well, we love his knowledge. He drops knowledge on us. You drop knowledge on us, and we just got to sit back and soak it in. But more than anything else, you offered $1,000 to get RJ to eat a bunch of bad food, and he didn't bite.
Yes, I'm proud of him.
He did not bite.
I'm proud of him. That offer's gone, though.
Yeah.
It's back down to a hunch.
It's mission impossible. In 5 minutes, this whatever bet was self-destruct.
The only thing, my biggest complaint is that he said 2 donuts. Yeah. 2.
What was that? The best part was, well, it depends on what donut. What kind of donut you talking about?
RJ has a little bougie in him, man.
He does.
He does. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could dust off a dozen.
Oh, easily.
Krispy Kreme hot?
Absolutely. Yeah.
In 2 hours?
Absolutely. 2
2
hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Half
2
an
hours.
hour.
Yeah.
What are you talking about 2 hours?
2 hours. I could do that in a
dozen
segment.
hot donuts with the red light flash?
Absolutely.
120 minutes to work with?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Are you crazy, RJ?
2 hours?
Take 10 minutes for you to do that.
Yeah.
Crush them.
You've been down south enough, RJ. We gotta get a little tougher here, man.
I'm as tough as they come, Denny. Don't do me. Don't do me.
I'm as tough as they come. All right. We talk quarterbacks with our quarterback whisperer, 641-1010. You guys can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Jump in. Let us know what you're thinking about. We came out of OTAs. We're going to work in a Trevor question here, but we really didn't see him with a mandatory minicamp because he's off. But listen to these numbers, Denny. If you were the Green Bay Packers and you were coaching quarterbacks, how damn good would you have had it from Brett Favre until now? Listen to this. 172 wins for Brett Favre, 158 wins for Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love trots out and just basically wins double digits and puts his team in the postseason. Is that not incredible? What a damn run.
I think it also kind of makes a case for like what Atlanta just did, right? I mean, I still don't understand Atlanta right now, straight off of signing Kirk Cousins, but that does make a case for you. You should always be looking for a quarterback. Like if you find a guy that you feel like, if you're picking, in those days, what were they picking, 2018 to 22, something like that?
They picked Aaron Rodgers 24th, by the way. They picked him after Jacksonville picked Matt Jones.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just – and my point is, like, if you're sitting there at 22 and you've got a guy on your board and he's a quarterback that you have graded as a generational type guy, an all-pro guy, and you still have your guy and he's still got some time, I mean, that makes a case for maybe you should go ahead and do that. And Jordan Love, by the way, does he not look like Aaron Rodgers 2.0? Everything he does,
mannerisms, everything.
Everything is identical to what Aaron Rodgers does. I am a huge Aaron Rodgers guy. I love Aaron Rodgers. You don't need to be in an OTA.
He's so much fun to watch.
What is he going to do?
You know
there?
what he's probably like? Just let me get to the last day that I got to get in there, and let me get in as good a shape as I possibly can.
You know what he should have done? You know what he should have? He should have done the Allen Iverson. Practice. We talking about practice.
Right.
That's what we talking about right now. Practice.
Right. No, I think Aaron Rodgers has changed the game as much as just about any quarterback that has ever come around. He's challenged mechanics. He's put his own spin on mechanics. He's done his own research. He hasn't listened to what people in the past have said about the way you play the game, the way you take drops, the way you throw. He has self-learned everything, and in a large way, it's like we teach a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff that he came up with.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing I'll give him the most credit for, like Tiger Woods, every time he teed it up, he had a chance to win, and percentage say so. 1 out of every 4 tournaments when Tiger was healthy, he won. Think of the touchdown to interception ratio that Aaron Rodgers has operated under compared to some of these other guys. It's incredible.
And the age he did it at too. That's what's crazy. You always tell us, moving to another vein here real quick, you always talk about the mechanics, the physical aspects of the game, the stuff you teach, right? But then you always say, hey, listen, at the end of the day, it comes down to what happens between the ears and are you mentally tough enough? And right now, this offseason, there are a lot of people that are questioning the quarterback here, Trevor Lawrence. Is he mentally tough enough? Does he have what it takes to be that elite level quarterback? If you're a quarterback and you keep hearing that over and over and over for 6, 7, 8 months, that's as much motivation as you need, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's you don't know if you're mentally tough enough until you have to be mentally tough, right? And I think when you look at Trevor's career all the way going back down to high school, he's just won. He's won. And then his first year here, he had a built-in excuse of they were just terrible, bad coaching, the whole thing. This past year is the first time, I feel like, in his career where he's probably pretty disappointed in himself as well.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think there is an aspect of you gotta pick yourself up. That season's over. There's nothing you can do about it. And you got to see where you stand in this whole thing because you're dealing in a league that is full of elite individuals. And the guys that can pick themselves up and make them better are the guys that become all pros. The
they
guys
just keep
that
rolling
can't.
Quarterbacks in. They C.J. Stroud comes in. And
Yeah,
another year,
it's not
another
going to
player-
stop.
Caleb Williams coming in. It does not stop.
It's
right?
not ever going to stop. So if you think you are a top 5 guy, well, now's the time you got to prove that. And you've got experience now. I mean, I think my personal opinion is we're going to look back 5 years from now and we're going to look at that late game skid of 2020. What was that? 3. And we're going to say that's where the Jags and Trevor turned a corner. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. I think that self-discovery that you find in those moments of just like how did that happen, and you cannot let that happen again or your career is over. I think that's what makes most people great, and I think Trevor has that.
You know, it's interesting that you brought that up because I was just talking about this off the air before. I remember the 2023 playoff game when we played the Chiefs, and we lost a close one to the Chiefs. And I remember Trevor Lawrence being in the ramp after the game, and he's touching everybody's hand. And I'm not going to lie to you. I got goosebumps because I said to myself, KC, we coming back for you.
Yep.
You know, same thing, make you laugh, going to make you cry.
Yep.
You know, so for the season to end the way it ended, 8-3, #1 seed in the playoffs at that particular time, and then the collapse the way they collapsed. Man, it was just so disheartening because I just remember that scene of Trevor slapping everybody's hand in the ramp. Hey, and he was slapping like, "We'll be back."
And
we'll
you've
be
been
back.
there.
Yeah,
you've been there where it's like the team is so much fun to play with and for, and you go on this run, and then it's over, and it's so hard to recreate those teams. Even if you keep all the pieces, like just the momentum you have and the fun that you have playing, and it's like they just couldn't find that last year.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I remember in '94 when I was with the Steelers, we lost to the San Diego Chargers in the championship game, right? And we said to ourselves, we'll be back, all right? Now, we lost to the Jaguars in the middle of the season. We lost and that losing to the Jaguars in '95.
You got your whooping.
We lost by 3. That was our whooping. But losing to the Jaguars at a particular time kind of springboarded us to remind us what we had promised ourselves a year ago, and we made it back to the championship, and we eventually went to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that the Jaguars can do that, but I'm just saying when mentally that disappointment of whatever happened, and you say to yourself, you know what, I don't want to have to relive this again. So, so I'm just hoping the Jaguars in that scenario say to themselves, we don't want to have to relive this again.
Well, it's embarrassing too, right?
It is very
I mean, it's just embarrassing. You're the face of a city, and now there's 3 guys who have never played talking about you here on radio, of talking about, hey, is he that guy? Man, that's embarrassing. Like, this is a guy who's put everything into what he does for a living, and he don't want this to happen again.
And
so now
to your point,
roll it up and go.
This might have been the first time he's ever been embarrassed as a player.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the first year he's dealing with the idiot as a coach.
Yep.
And the team's terrible. This might be literally the first time where he's like, my God, I may not have it.
Yeah. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this, because I think he's obviously one of the best at what he does in the world just by playing in the NFL.
Right.
But I think there's more to him than just that. If you're around him at any amount of time, there's more to Trevor Lawrence than just being okay with being in the NFL. And so I think any time as a human being, like you find that ceiling, you got to make the decision. Like, am I willing to do what it takes to get past this ceiling that I've run into,
Right.
or am I just going to settle here? And I don't see Trevor as the kind that's just going to settle there. And the unfortunate thing about the quarterback position, we talk about, was it the offensive line? Was it the receivers not being in the right place? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because 10 out of 10 times the blame is going to go on you, as it should, because you're about to get $50, $60 million a year.
It's credit and blame. They get a bunch more of it than anybody else. But the other thing is, like, you go into your 6 points in your training, right? So give me the lab chemistry on software, hardware. Okay, you got to have both, right? Got to have big arm, got to have the software to basically make all the decisions. But what about, like, what we're all talking about? Trevor getting mad, getting pissed off. How much of that ingredient needs to be sprinkled in there for him? Like, just play angry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I think that's as critical as anything else. It's not playing angry. It's just having that determination of I think you get to a certain point with these guys, from what I've seen, where the money is the money, and yes, you want to be paid properly, because that's part of the competition.
Sure.
I want to be paid what I feel like I deserve, because I'm better than that guy. But I don't think, from what I've seen, that they go home thinking about the money or checking their Wells Fargo app, or anything like that. I think at some point it just becomes like, I'm gonna be the best at what I do, and I'm gonna empty the tank trying to be the best at what I do. Yeah. And if at the end of the day I'm not, then I'm okay with that, because I put the effort in like I'm going to. And I think there's a huge part of finding that every single offseason. And Leon, you tell me, like, a lot of guys will retire when they realize that there's not that, right? Like, they get to the offseason and they're trying to find that next step or that next thing, and they realize that it's just, man, I don't have that in me. Trevor's young. He's got huge expectations. He's hugely talented. He's got a lot of things that he's just gifted with that most people just naturally don't have. I think he finds that, and I think he takes the next step.
Yeah. Well, my knew I was timed when I hit Albert Hainsworth in a practice scrimmage, and I went backwards. Well, I gave him the funk, and I went backwards. So that was my moment when
all you had.
That was my moment when I knew it was time to hang it up, whatever. But no, I was telling the guys this about Trevor. Listen, you're right. Guys don't count their money and stuff like that, right? But there's something to say about a competitive chip on your shoulder. Yes. You got to remember that all these guys are looking for in the competitive edge. And mine's, when I was with the Steelers, my last year, my contract, I said, you know what? Contract negotiations over. I'm going to bet on me. All right? Y'all don't think that I'm worth the money? And I'm saying to myself, no, listen, I believe Trevor needs to get paid. But I don't have a problem with Trevor saying, you know what? Talks are over. I'm going to show you the guy that I am this season. I'm going to put up 40. I'm going to put up 35 and 10 and lead you to the championship game. And then y'all decide if I need
that'll be the highest paid quarterback.
Exactly. Then y'all decide if I need to make money.
Then you can call it playing angry, however you want to describe it. But let's just remember this now. The one thing that's happened, Denny, and I think this is the interesting part of the challenge that Trevor's facing. He went from hearing MVP talk coming into the last offseason to question mark talk coming into this season.
Man, that's motivating, man. I don't know about you guys, but there's times where I just pray people doubt me, because that there's no greater motivation in the world than hearing somebody tell you you can't do something. And that can last with you for decades. If 10 years later you still hear that person, no matter how meaningless in your life they are, telling you you can't do something. Leon probably still remembers the people from high school that told me it's statistically improbable that you're ever going to make money doing this, right? Man, I don't know of a bigger motivating factor. I think that's far more motivating than a contract or than fame or anything like that. It's just that in your ear somebody saying, "Nah, you can't."
Now, Denny, but as a competitor, you look for that.
You do.
You always look
make
for
it
that.
up if you have to.
You always look for that competitive edge, something to motivate you in the morning. When you're tired and it's 6 o'clock, your alarm goes off and you want to sleep in the bed, and you say to yourself, "No." I remember what they said about me. Get your butt out of the bed. Let's go train.
Watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, some players, they need that sometimes.
Yep. And I don't know that Trevor's ever had that up to this point, is the point I think we're all trying to make. Yeah. So I think it's a powerful motivating factor. And I think Trevor's a very motivated person and a very talented person. So I have no reason to think. I would pay him, by the way. Just for the record. I would pay him.
We know there are only so many potentially great quarterbacks that wear NFL uniforms. And if you have one, I'm not saying he's great now, but he's potentially great. You do not let him go.
No, if you believe he's ascending, which they do, okay, if you believe he's ascending, you pay him. Because even if it doesn't work out, then you just move on. Yeah. But you got to at least lock him up. You got to pay him.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being real, and I know he hasn't, last year was not great, but you're not improving from that. Now you've got a talented guy with 4 years experience. Like, just get it done.
And hopefully the hunger stays there, because like you said, you want to be measured against the greats in the game right now. He's trying to step up in class. A Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, a Pat Mahomes. We know that that guy's at the top of the pyramid.
Well, let's admit something too. Like, let's say they give him a contract. That's not going to change his lifestyle. And that may change his kids and his grandkids' lifestyle.
Yeah.
But they ain't going to change his lifestyle. That man's got plenty of money right now. He's going to drive the same cars. He's going to go to the same house. Like, it's not going to change anything about his day to day getting paid.
Yeah. All right, so we'll stay on the quarterbacks with our quarterback whisperer. You guys can hit the text line 641-1010. We'll work it into some college quarterback chatter as well, but definitely staying on the Trevor train. But we got a couple of guys that all right, so one on the eating challenge, the Cool Hand Luke challenge.
Oh my gosh.
Are you into that one?
50 hard-boiled eggs, RJ.
Oh,
50 hard-boiled eggs to be named the Cool Hand Luke of XL Primetime.
First off, RJ, have you ever seen the movie Cool Hand Luke?
I have not.
Good God. We'll just stop right here.
So, I could do 50 deviled eggs.
What's wrong with you, man? How have you not seen that movie?
I don't know. But listen, he's a youngster. I totally get it. That's a good old school classic movie, but but he basically says that he's not jumping in on any of these. One guy says, I can do a KK's dozen as far as glazed donuts in probably 8 minutes or less.
I don't doubt that.
I believe it. I believe I could. I don't think I'd feel well after.
Called us a bunch of lightweights.
Right, you mean I feel good,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. I would enjoy it. I would enjoy the first 8.
Oh my gosh, they'd be so good. It's so funny. He called us a bunch of lightweights, and then he put in parentheses, Leon's not included in that statement. All right, so we'll keep it going. 641-1010. You guys can hit us with a quarterback question for our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson. Hanging out. It's XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. This radio station wouldn't make sense anywhere else because this station belongs to Jacksonville. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Mia here. Why Arlington Toyota? How about a huge selection of new vehicles in stock, on the ground, in one location? And every new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time, and miles. 60-day exchange program. Yes, you heard that right. 60 days to love your new purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Plus, Arlington's credit helper to help you get financed. There's even complimentary car washes with every service, and so much more. Shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Fries.
Ross, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer's here on the First Coast. You know, long days, short sleeves, lazy summer afternoons, and soaring temperatures that can do a number on your AC. But do what I did and plan ahead with an expert AC tune-up from Fenwick Home Services to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. If you've heard me say this once, you've heard it 1,000 times. Hope is not a plan. That's why Fenwick Home Services has you covered with same-day service, including maintenance plans, free same-day estimates, and guaranteed repairs. Expert technicians you can trust will keep you and your family cool and comfortable all year long and help you breathe easier and avoid costly breakdowns. Call day or night, 24/7, and Fenwick's certified technicians will get the job done right the first time. Book your expert tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns tomorrow. Plan ahead instead of hoping for the best. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com.
Hi, I'm David Lane, your average everyday Joe. I'm 5 months out of my back surgery with Southeast Orthopedic, and I'm doing great. Thanks to Dr. Herford and his staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Maybe you've got plumbing problems, like toilets that won't flush, or there's not enough pressure, or you get clogs and stoppage too often.
Ew!
There's several potential causes, and some can't be detected easily. So before it becomes a disaster, call Roland Reich Plumbing. They can send a special video camera down through the lines, since they don't have a small little man, to find the root of the problem, which could be tree roots. Don't guess. Hire Roland Reich Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
as soon as possible
at 641-1010.
Joe C. for the Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders, a full staff of professionals that have been in this Jacksonville community for a long, long time, and they're ready to answer all those questions. And you know what it's like when you're making big decisions. Well, they can be pricey, but you also want to make sure that you get with the people that can take care of you and deliver on what you're paying for. So if you're thinking about a brand new home, a remodel, addition, you want to look around, it could be commercial or residential, you can trust Preferred Builders. Log on, preferredbuildersjacks.com, and don't forget, if you need a roof, you definitely need to check out preferredroofingjacks.com.
Are you looking for that perfect Father's Day gift? Look no further than Shooters this Thursday through Sunday, June 13th through the 16th. Shooters and Smith & Wesson are bringing you the largest Smith & Wesson sale of the year with the largest savings of the year. Click away with a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522, very affordable, just $429. Save $70. The most popular small frame defense revolver on the market, the Airweight 38 Special, for only $469. Save $70. The hottest selling concealed carry pistol, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9mm, for only $399. You save $150. Get unmatched value with the new Smith & Wesson SD9 2.0 handgun for a low $279. Save $80. Shooters and Smith & Wesson Father's Day sale, the largest sale of the year, June 13th through the 16th at Shooters, 5085 University Boulevard West. See the full ad at shootersjacks.com. shootersjacks.com.
Storms are part of every season. Make sure you're protected. Call American Electrical to make sure you have the best in surge protection. Don't lose your home electronics to a lightning strike. Call 737-7770 for American Electrical.
It's time to elevate your game night. Head to Best Bet, your premier destination for poker, card games, and hospitality. With locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine, we have a seat ready for you. Whether you're a seasoned poker player or just starting out, we have you covered with poker games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em. And it's not just poker. With delicious dining, lively bars, and big screen events, there's something for everyone at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com and ante up for fun.
A tomahawk steak is more than a meal, it's an experience. Dads, we've got you covered at Southern Steer Butcher. Now through Father's Day, get your tomahawk steaks for $24.99 a pound.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com. Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Hume Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Hume Flowers.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Mac's done a great job just getting in here and learning the offense. I mean, he's a sponge. He loves football. He loves learning football, talking football. He's constantly in the building. He's constantly asking questions. He's constantly talking, which is one thing. Just, hey, shut up. I got to give you a play call real quick. He just runs his mouth all the time, which is fun. It makes practice fun. He's chirping with the DBs all the time. It's hard right now when we don't have helmets on, so there's no headset communicator. I have to physically get him to come talk to me to give him the next play call. So I got to get him to stop talking, give him a play call. But he's done a great job just learning. You see his experience. He's played a lot of football. All the concepts we run, he's run at some point in time. So some of it's translating, and then you try to, as quickly as you can, get away from the old language you have. Of you can't keep telling yourself, oh, this is this. Well, this is this, and at a certain point, it's got to go away, and it's got to be this is this, and this is how we communicate. This is our language. He's done that. He's playing quicker each day that he gets, every rep he gets. So we're glad we have him.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
So that was Press Taylor, offensive coordinator for your Jaguars, earlier today, talking about the backup Mac Jones, he of Jacksonville, he of Duval, and almost won him a Heisman Trophy up in Alabama. We were arguing earlier, Denny, we were just talking about whether or not he can make him a good long living in the National Football League. I don't think there's any question that is true.
Absolutely, yeah.
But whether he battles back and wins a starting job somewhere else, who knows? But right now, he's got a big old smile on his face. And, hell, he was chattering to the defense on a scramble play today. He just won't. I love when Press says you got to tell him to shut up so we can give him a play to run.
Mac has just this natural energy he's always had about him that it's just so much fun. Yeah. He popped in a couple times this offseason. And a couple of my partners had never met him before, right? Because they're newer to town, and everybody was the same way. It's like this guy is just so much fun, and he doesn't. It's like self-deprecating a little bit, but it's just everybody loves Mac. And oh, by the way, like insanely smart about the game of football, like insanely smart. It's even if he doesn't ever become a starter again, which I believe he will. I believe at some point Mac will get another chance. I can't think of a better mind to be like in a quarterback room as a backup or just a resource than Mac Jones.
Danny, his first couple years, he's Joe Judge, who's never coached quarterbacks. Okay, Matt Patricia, who's a defensive coordinator. He finally gets Bill O'Brien there, but at that point it was too soiled. It was done at that point.
No, he's got what you need to play in that.
Yeah,
league. He's proven that.
Yeah,
he has definitely proven that. I mean, when COVID happened, we had a couple of guys that just kind of stayed in town, and it was cool because they would train, and then we would, they would sit around and talk about different defensive coordinators or different coverages or things like that.
Right.
And Josh Dobbs was one of them, and Mac was in there, and just you hear those two talking about cover 4 or the way that their protection against a certain type of front, and you just quickly realize that I don't know anything about the game of football. Like, these guys are operating at a level that is just, it's very, very impressive, and they're continually trying to learn. And he's a professional in that way, and I think he just got a raw deal in New England.
So you're talking about Mac Jones and his IQ as far as, I mean, now I'm not saying that, but when quarterbacks come off the sideline, the first thing they do is they go to the backup quarterback.
That's right.
And they ask him, hey, listen, what did you see? And you're talking about this guy has a high IQ as far as what he sees. I mean, could that help Trevor?
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt. No, and you look at that room of him and CJ, and that's two guys that have played a lot of football in college and in the NFL, and two really, really smart guys, two observant guys, coach-type guys. So, yeah, I mean, I think it is a room set up for success for Trevor, without a shadow of a doubt.
All right, let's hit a couple of other quarterbacks. Let's stay in the NFL because you guys had Caleb Williams come through your building, #1 overall pick. Maybe just a little bit of a slow start, and then all of a sudden he's turning heads. He's starting to make throws. I don't know if you've seen or heard anything up in Chicago, but they like what they're seeing from Caleb Williams, at least at this point.
Yeah, I really haven't paid attention. I don't really consider this thing as a start until we get into training camp. I mean, these guys are rushed in. You're installing at a rapid pace. You don't get a ton of reps compared to what you get in college. And so I think, these guys just got to find their bearings. I think we talked about it last week about if they were to take away OTAs, what that would do to rookies.
Yeah.
And it would affect the quality of the game without a shadow of a doubt. So I don't think you can really get an idea of a guy and where he sits in this whole thing until you get a couple weeks into training camp, and that install is at least familiar to him, and he's at least got an idea of, oh, wait, in college we were able to run this one play 6 different times. Yeah. In the NFL, it's like, put it on film, we move on, right? And that's just the way this thing works. But I don't worry about Caleb.
Can't be easy.
I don't worry about Caleb at all. He is supremely talented. From a personality standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, he's got everything you want there. He's not going to be bothered by the pressure of Chicago or the NFL. He's really an emotionally mature young man, and I think he'll do well right away.
All right, so another one of your guys is Brock Purdy. He's a guy that kind of flew under the radar when he came out in college. Had a great career at Iowa State. I'm going to give you another guy that's kind of flying under the radar a little bit, but I think he's going to be a really good prospect at the end of next year. Caden Slater, Liberty. What do you think of him?
I haven't watched a ton of him. Wasn't there rumors, or was he going to hit the portal or something?
He did, and then he went back, and then Liberty came up with some cash.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
When that happened, I went.
God bless him.
Yeah, when that happened, I kind of plugged it in.
So he's not like he hasn't been in Power 5.
Yeah, watched a little bit of him and was like, oh, there's something to this guy. No, I don't know enough about him to really talk at length about him, but there's obviously something about him that he's got some juice to him. He's got a little more than the average person's got.
Do you see anybody flying under the radar right now that no one's really talking about?
Man, it seems like maybe it's just my job, but it seems like everybody talks about everybody now. Yeah. It seems like we get so deep into analysis of quarterback play. Like we've got Will Rogers in this week, and that's a guy who has thrown for a ton of yards that I don't feel like gets talked about enough. I mean, very successful guy, very diligent in his craft, very talented, and threw for, 10,000 yards?
Oh,
I mean, something crazy in the SEC.
But we'll be in a completely different offense with Jed Fish.
Yeah. Completely different offense, completely different conference. They're playing in the Big Ten now. And I'm not here to talk about him. I'm just saying, as a guy that even though he's thrown for 10,000 yards, is still, I would consider, an under the radar guy.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of those guys out there. I'm interested this year to just see what college football, from a quarterback perspective, I feel like the game's changing so much that there's so much more on the plate of the quarterbacks. It's becoming more and more and more like the NFL in the sense of these guys are truly the face of a city. Like, they really are the face of a university. They put them out there now. These collectives have them do public appearances, things like that. So I'm very interested to see the next iteration of college football and what that looks like for the quarterback position as well.
So real quick on Will, just as far as where he's at in the conference that he's playing in, it's got to be trippy just to say, hey, I'm going to the Great Northwest, and I got to come back to the Midwest to play ball. I mean, it's just so weird to think about.
Yeah, you look at we were looking at their schedule last night, and I think they go to Penn State.
It's not easy.
Yeah, they go
It's
to
nuts.
Rutgers. Like, the thought of that being a conference game from Washington to Rutgers.
Yeah. It's a 3,200-mile trip.
Yeah. It's, again, though, but that's where college football's at. And I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's exciting. Seems like it's more exciting.
Well, if we get to the college.
Speaking of Will, have we asked you about Will Howard at Ohio State? What are your thoughts on him? The K-State
I don't
transfer?
have a lot of thoughts on him because I don't know much about him. I don't know. In fact, I don't know anything about him. I watched him at Kansas State. I didn't watch much last year. I don't even know what happened with him last year. A couple years ago when they were good.
By the end of the season, Avery Johnson was their quarterback. There was no doubt about that.
I know
He's a
this.
good player,
We talked a little
but
bit about this, but I know this freshman they got at Ohio State is legit.
Julian Saint.
Yeah, Julian
the kid that
Saint.
left Alabama.
Yeah, he is. He's a special guy.
Yeah, everyone's saying Ohio State has the most loaded roster, and Ryan Day's going to feel another layer of pressure to get it done because Sane, Caleb Downs, all these guys, not all, but those two big timers left Alabama
Judkins.
to come to Columbus.
Judkins left Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They added
and,
a lot.
and Will Howard. Yeah.
Man, I know there's a lot of people, a lot of traditionalists and purists, and I would consider myself kind of that don't like the way that college football's going. But I think when we get through this season and when you watch these home playoff games and you watch a 12-team playoff, I think everybody's going to be so addicted to college football that it's going to become the NFL. It's going to take over the news cycle. They're going to find a way to make it newsworthy 12 months a year, and it's going to be not as big. It'll never be as big, but it is going to be bigger than it's ever been within a year.
Yeah, and I don't think people are giving enough credit to this quote, the regular season is still important. They will find out it's even more important
Agree.
now.
Absolutely agree.
All right, so let's just do that real quick before we say goodbye to Denny, because I do think this one actually is pretty damn good, speaking of the college football playoff.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Leon, will Miami host a college football playoff game? Do you believe that to be true?
No, we'll be one of the Final Fours.
Oh.
So y'all getting to buy.
Okay, so you're not. Oh wow, he's getting to buy. This is just great news.
Listen, think big, baby.
And I'm just thinking.
I thought you were window shopping.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
I'm in the store. I'm in the store now. He is
all bought in on Cam
past
Ward.
that now.
But how about this? And this is from Dennis Dodd, and I think this is a killer thing. College football playoff first round on-campus ticket prices revealed no higher than the highest price ticket over the last 2 seasons. Student tickets will still be $25 to get into those games. Round of applause for that. It won't last, but for the here and now,
Well,
they're not jacking up.
I mean,
ticket
honestly,
prices.
round of applause.
I know
for-
that's coming.
Round of applause for those students who are going to get good seats.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, if you need some money for Christmas, you could sell it for like, I don't know, $2,000.
You probably could.
So, round of applause for the students.
I would be
Make some
willing
money
to
off that
bet
too.
just fast forward 6 months to this show, and you're going to have that just happened of, well, the first round playoff tickets are $2,100 to sit in the end zone.
Right, to get in price is $2,100.
But it is respectable.
I'm hoping. All right, big bro. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer from 6 Points. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we are up until the 4 o'clock hour. The Francis Show will keep everything going this afternoon into the night with Rick Ballou, Hacker After Dark, and both Rick and Hacker with interviews today. We mentioned Mac Jones. Hacker will have him as one of his guests tonight.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
You have heard about the 1010XL YouTube channel. Now check out our team-specific channels, 1010XL Jaguars, 1010XL Gators, and 1010XL Seminoles, bringing up specific, up-to-the-minute video coverage of your favorite local team. And find us on YouTube today.
It's time for Bravo Rama at Nimnik Buick GMC. Frank Frangie here. Find your next vehicle with Car Bravo, a better way to shop certified used vehicles online with transparent pricing. Save big this month with $1,000 customer cash on Car Bravo certified light-duty full-size pickup trucks and 0% APR. That's right, 0% on select Car Bravo certified vehicles. Get it all at Nimnik. Your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Exciting news from All Pro Roofing. Effective right now, you can get an instant roof quote. Just click the Instant Roof Quote tab on their website. Whether you're in need of roofing, exterior siding, or windows, All Pro Roofing is your local partner for quality craftsmanship. Click the Instant Roof tab and voila! Get an instant quote. It's that simple. Click on the Instant Roof Quote tab today at allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
If you wear contact lenses and you're between the ages of 18 and 69, the Vision Research Center is looking for participants in clinical research studies. If eligible, you'll be compensated up to $50 per hour. I've done these contact lens studies for years. The VRC staff is wonderful and they work with my busy schedule. See if you qualify. Visit their website, 188visionok.com. 188visionok.com.
How nice would it be not to worry about your AC unit for 10 years? What? Vaughn's Heating and Air, standing by their units for 10 years. Imagine not having to think about your AC unit for a decade. Vaughn's 10-year warranty covers the parts, labor, and refrigerant. Basically everything. No fictional problems that will cost thousands. This is legit. An AC unit with no repair costs. Wouldn't that be nice? So remember, if your AC unit won't turn on, just call Vaughn's. That's Vaughn's Heating and Air.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 11th, Mel Stottlemyre sets an American League record by making his 272 consecutive start without pitching a game in relief.
Kick it here with Zero Res. If you're like me, you like to sit on the sofa and recliners and watch a good game or show. You know, unwind down from the day. But sometimes TV time means food, drink, and a mess as well. That's why you need to have the Zero Res truck out and get that furniture looking great again. All of June, Zero Res offering 25% off all upholstery cleaning, 25% off a sectional, off a sofa, 25% off a love seat, 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man, you spell it forwards, you spell it backwards. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O. If you want high quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. Waterboyjax.com.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Darren Ravel, longtime sports business reporter, just tweeted out, to address the biggest news of the day, despite reports Joey Chestnut is not banned from the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. He made an endorsement decision to support a competitor. Major League Eating still hopes he'll change course. In other words,
drop it.
Drop it or you're going to get banned.
Or as Leon said, the NIL will take over and they'll beat that offer.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll decommit from the vegan dog. Well, what was it? Somebody texted earlier, instead of a vegan hot dog, it's a not dog. It's what it is.
Right.
Not dog.
So my guess is it happened, okay? Because Darren Ravel was one of the first people to report it that he's not going to be in the hot dog eating contest on the 4th. And then somebody at Nathan's got a call from someone higher up at Nathan's and said, "Are you out of your mind? What are we doing here?"
Do not wall him off.
Right. So
Do
then
not
it was,
Kobayashi
well,
him.
let's leave him a little wiggle room here, okay?
Yeah, because remember, Kobayashi got him a little 30 for 30 out of that bad boy because he said people were just terrorizing him, walking up and down New York streets. Anyway, he couldn't get back in.
Right.
And I'm sure they didn't, because Kobayashi was the biggest challenger to Joey. There was nobody. Nobody
honestly,
else was even
that
coming
event
close.
has pretty much become like the Macy's Day Parade. Has it not? Seriously.
But like I said, I'm there for the announcements, and I'll tip a few back just watching the proceedings. But then when they start dunking,
right, then it's done.
When they start dunking buns in water, I'm out.
Right. When it's like that parade. Like it's Thanksgiving. You wake up, you're having your your breakfast. Everybody's happy. You turn on the parade. Kids are watching the parade. You see a couple floats. All right, I'm done. It's the same thing with that. You see one or two dogs going down. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, it's just honestly, because we've had fun today. One dude texted in and said, 12 hot and ready Krispy Kreme and a glass of milk in 3 minutes or less. I don't know if I don't know. Now listen, you got to
be challenging.
Yeah, you got to understand. There's a lot of air in those donuts, so you probably could get them down pretty quick. I could see 6 in a glass of, because a glass of milk.
The glass of milk's gonna be the problem. The donuts
That'll
isn't
start
gonna be the
clogging
problem.
some stuff up. Same thing with another cat that said on the text line, it's those fries, all that starch will clog everything up. Another dude said some salt and ketchup, it'll be cake. It'll be cake. We're gonna come up with
That was for the eggs, though. He said the salt and ketchup for the eggs.
Oh, is that what it was for
Yes.
the boiled eggs? Listen, I don't think I'm putting ketchup on a boiled egg. I'm not putting ketchup on any.
By the way,
egg.
apparently Paul Newman ate like I think 30 of those eggs, which is why he looked so uncomfortable when he was eating them. He didn't eat all 50, but he ate a lot of them, which is why he wanted to do it specifically because he wanted to make himself look like he was getting ready to throw up, which he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
That's a lot of eggs, bro.
There's a lot of
deviled
eggs.
eggs. Deviled eggs. Now, I probably could throw down some deviled eggs.
Give me a number. Give me a number.
Number?
Don't go too high, because if you do, you're going to get in a bed here real quick.
I'll do 30 and 3.
I would not say that out loud.
30 and 3.
In 3 minutes?
I didn't stutter.
Oh.
You might have a bed
And so
here.
you know what I like about this? Because this is smart if I have this right. So that's basically 15 eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I terrorize those deviled eggs.
Really? Because
Terrorize
it's
them.
30
Don't
half,
lose
half egg.
Don't lose your money, dog. I'm trying to keep your money in your pocket.
All right.
Done. I've always been the guy that I'm low and slow. I want to enjoy everything I'm eating. I'll eat as much, I hope, as most, but I'm not going to jam it down. It's just I don't want to wait.
Yeah,
it's
you could
good
get
food.
15
It's
without
good
even
food.
blinking.
I know, bro.
Right into it. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Although I did get 10 ribs down, you got 11 down last time.
Yeah, I believe I did.
11
yes.
or 12.
12, yeah.
Yeah.
Did my competition. I brought some
Colby
outside source in here, thinking he was gonna beat the big fella.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Negative.
Was it Colby? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
we
it
had
was.
like a
we had a challenge.
We had a challenge.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to remember his name. I think it was Colby, FSU fan. He was a big cat.
Oh, you know I couldn't lose to that.
We pulled his name out of the hat.
It was
came in
beautiful.
and we were like, "Whoa, this is gonna get interesting."
Could not have been better. Hey, Colby, if you're out there, we miss you, man.
Yeah. How's that butt whooping feel?
All right, real quick, before we get done and hand it off, just a couple of things that we were just kind of summing up and talking about. And Cameron Wolf, we had him on earlier, 2 o'clock hour, and just talking about the look, the sound, and he brought up Ryan Nielsen and the stuff that he had done in Atlanta, and Coach Campos said it kind of married up with his thoughts of him. And then the other thing that Coach brought in was that he believes 100% Darnell Savage is
he looked good,
the guy to beat at nickel. And he's wearing a non-contact jersey, but when you guys watch him, you're seeing
he's full on out there. Yeah. He's full go. Leon, am I wrong? Like I keep saying this the last couple of days. Am I wrong? Does it look like they're getting after it?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. They're competing at the highest level right now. There's I don't know what to say. It is a new enthusiasm on that field now.
Right.
And, you know, we can be
maybe a sense of urgency.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, the sense of urgency. I mean, that has a lot to do with the youth factor, the new guy factor, and the coaching factor. You know, because the new defensive coordinator is probably telling those guys, listen, man, go out there and execute at the highest level. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy defending. Enjoy blocking, knocking down passes. Enjoy that kind of stuff. You know, enjoy what you do, because it's not work, man. You know, they get paid a hell of a lot of money to go play a game, so you might as well have fun at it
and you know
enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think that somehow, some way, and I think Doug Peter. Let's make this the 10-10 take real quick, RJ, and. All right, go ahead.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Leon did knock down a dozen ribs, and I had 10. Matty had half a rack. And they were all good.
Yeah.
They were all good. And then I saw over the weekend Shannon was smoking up some brisket. Incredible. The pitmaster. So head on to any one of your area Sonny's barbecue locations here on the First Coast and enjoy some of that delicious barbecue. So Doug said this, Leon, and I just want you to follow it as we kind of wrap up what we think is going to carry them into training camp, is that Doug says I can only do so much. I can encourage you. I can push you. I can game plan. I can do everything I can to make sure this off-season is going to be full of work, pushing you, but it's up to you and your teammates. It's up to you guys to push one another, and that seems apparent to me. Sounds like it's apparent to you guys too. So this is the 10-10 take, because I think the competition it's been ramped up, but I'm going to give the players some credit too. They're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Listen, my whole career playing in the NFL, I never needed a coach to motivate. I was self-motivated. I love the game of football. I love competing. I love putting a dude on his backside. That kind of stuff. Those are the type of things you enjoy doing as a football player. And if you can do it collectively, if you can find a bunch of guys collectively that love the game of football and are passionate about it and go out every day and put in the work necessary, man, you got yourself a team. Yeah, you've definitely got yourself a team. If you got a self-motivated team, you got something.
Yeah, they're not only are they working, and you can tell they're working, but you can see there's a chemistry being built out there too, man. There's a lot, like they're hugging and they're slapping hands, and I know you may think, oh, well, that's what all teams. It's not. It's not. It hasn't been that way the last couple of years. I think there's something going on there. It's weird. It's a little odd, but it's good. It's very good.
Well, I saw a couple of guys just cutting on each other a little bit, having fun. And there was 2 defensive guys, and they haven't been on this team for a whole hell of a lot of time. But like you're saying, they're just kind of feeding off one another. They may not make the final roster. Who the heck knows? But
that
end,
chemistry is what killed them last year. The lack of it.
Yeah.
So maybe this is something that's building early, and that's got a chance to catch fire in the locker room.
Yeah, because it's definitely been made clear that they lost their way down the stretch, that's for sure. All right, RJ, we are not losing our way down the stretch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
My takeaway is RJ's going to regret not taking that challenge. Stack. That's my takeaway.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, my takeaway is tomorrow's the last day of minicamp, and these guys have got we're essentially weeks away before training camp. Next thing you know, season rolling around the corner, man. it's come fast, and I can't wait for it. Absolutely.
My takeaway is a salute to Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
19 seasons. And
unreal.
if you think about what he had Jaguar franchise marks of 170 games, 375 receptions, 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, and he's been gone for a long time. So if you want to go on social media, you can go to 6 Point Sports, and it shows Mercedes Lewis in 2006 and Caleb Williams in 2006. Mercedes was the first-round draft pick for the Jaguars out of UCLA, and Caleb might as well just been in diapers. And he's coming back for his 19th season. Isn't that something?
Special.
And he'll still pop up here and there, make a catch, but he's a road grader at tight end.
Listen, that pension is going to look real good when he turns 55.
Okay, remember the
and he's close to 55.
I'm just saying it's going to look real good. Trust me.
He ain't gonna have to wait.
He's not gonna wait that long.
Oh, you're right.
How many stacks would you say? How many stacks would you say?
What,
19 seasons.
19 seasons. When he gets to that 55, it's going to be somewhere between 22 to 25,000 a month.
Yeah, that's.
And if he holds out to 60,
I think 55 is where the farthest.
Well, no, the 62 and a half is
Oh,
as far as you
really?
go.
62 and a half is it.
62 and a half. So at 62 and a half, it goes up a third, something like that. So,
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
That's exponentially better.
I will say, and real quick, it's just crazy how the NFL bets against the clock like that. It's,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's
It's
just
something.
God.
All right, we had a good time. By the way, tomorrow we'll be on the road, Lifetime Enclosures, so come on by, Father's Day celebration, so we hope that you'll come on Phillips Highway right there close to Bay Meadows and say hello to XL Primetime. We say thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, both great dealerships on the lot and online. They definitely want to take care of you. Think of the rides, SUVs, pickups, beautiful sedans, economy, pre-owned and new. They got it all in the Toyota and Chevy lineup and beyond. Beaver Toyota, StAugustine.com, BeaverChevrolet.com. We're out. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ. You got the Francis Show coming up next.
I'm a pretty big peanut monkey. All my friends